Namaste, angels. This is the weekly reading for the period of today, Sunday, the 29th of May. I'm getting a late start. I apologize. To the 4th of June, Saturday to come. We're going to jump right in with massage, cocktail, no, and quickie. Maybe you stop for a quick drink. That could be the quickie. Some of us may need something like a massage or some other sort of personal treat or care. Spirit says, forget it. My choice. So a decision that is up to you as opposed to the other person or other people that may be involved. Party. And massage is also back. So just judging from the cards that we're starting with, somebody among us should have a pretty auspicious week, you know, some good luck or something. We got 2 aces that I ended up on top with, probably because of Mercury going direct and or because Mercury's going direct in Taurus. So there's your swords and the earth. Or it could be about Venus, who recently, as a matter of fact, very recently, yesterday, to be exact, entered Taurus, which she rules. So that could be what the abundance is about. They both, you know, it could be representative of both of them. But, you know, more than one ace in a spread or showing up together is very auspicious. So while I shuffle these, I'll talk to you a little bit about updates. You know what I'm saying? So last week, I remember when I was... So not everybody's going to remember this because I think I talked about it after I did the reading, when I was, you know, after the cards, when I was going over what else was going to happen in the week. And I was talking about the Christian calendar. This is interesting too. We have the 6 of Cups and we have the 8 of Cups. So somebody could be like walking away from the past, you know, finally deciding to move beyond the past. Something that maybe that they were holding on to that was probably holding them back. This picture is very new moon because you can see like the full moon, you know, the whole moon here, but then you see that there's like this little crescent. And there is a new moon this week in Gemini. So where the sun also is, you know, of course. So that may be what this is about, like moving on to new things and moving forward and not being stuck in the past, so, you know, having let some stuff go. Yeah, so not everybody's going to know about this. Only the people that watched what I was talking about, what else was going on in the week. But, or did I talk about it when I first started the camera? Or maybe both. I may have touched on some and then talked about some more when I got up to that. In any case, I remember saying while I was going over the feast day of Mary, Help of Christians. And you guys that were watching may have heard me like pause and stuff because I was really hesitant to say everything that I was feeling. As a matter of fact, I know I started talking about it when I did the dice. So at the beginning of the reading also. And I was hesitant to say everything that I was feeling because, I mean, I talk about this every year. That May, June, it's like hunting season, particularly on people of color, children, and the LGBTQIA community. And if you haven't noticed the patterns, you know, I'm here to point them out to you, and feel free to Google on your own how many shootings there are in May, you know, on average, how many shootings there are in the month of June, or how many have there been in the United States or around the world, whatever it is. And you'll see it's hunting season. But it's, again, it tends to be on particular demographics of groups of people. So that's something else that I haven't yet figured out. We got another ace. Talk about an auspicious week. So we started with the Ace of Swords with this deck. Now ending on the Ace of Cups with the King of Cups right behind it. Very, very nice. And an into conflict and into battling, maybe an into like competition with the majority of, you know, a bunch of suitors for either for his attention or for yours. And maybe when, you know, deciding to start something new with one particular person. That's what this ace is about. Because the Five of Wands, or to renew something with somebody existing, Five of Wands specific to love can be about, yes, a conflict. Yes, maybe even a debate, an argument, a very serious discussion. Hopefully we can avoid an actual argument, but a very serious discussion. But like one that is really worth having and conducive to healing the relationship. So it's like getting things out and settling the score and making up, you know, just getting everything out on the table, and, you know, having that last battle and finding that it helps the relationship rather than hurts it. This particular debate or argument or conflict may specifically be with a King of Cups, a male or masculine water sign, possibly a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone like into those traits or attributes, or somebody who is particularly balanced in terms of their energy, at least right now. Maybe they're not always like that, but maybe because they're like that right now, that's what's enabling you to look. Okay, there had been some, like, you had to defend yourself, you had to stand your ground, and that may be what led to this, you know, again, possible disagreement of sorts. But it, you know, again, it's positive. The result is positive, because it's like a conversation that needs to be had, even though it could be a difficult one, a challenging one, and something that may be even breaking into an argument. So maybe he's able to have these kind of emotional conversations right now, or you know, be more vulnerable about his emotions because he's more balanced. The King of Cups is a balanced energy, balanced masculine and feminine energies, very in touch with both sides and not afraid to have them on display, you know. And of course, Ace of Cups is about new beginnings, something that is emotionally fulfilling. Could be the birth of a baby, a marriage, reconciliation, you know, moving to like the next level, a new chapter, an existing relationship, meeting somebody new, all kinds of awesome things. So what was I saying about Mary? So yeah, I held back and I didn't mention that it was, I was talking about when I did the dice, I was talking about something could possibly go viral or whatever. And I remember pausing, fighting, you know, to hold back from saying that there could be some sort of, you know, viral, like shooting or something. I mean, I guess that, not that I was going to say not that I have the power to manifest that kind of thing, but we all kind of do. I don't know. I didn't want to say it, but I did say that something could happen and go viral. And then when I was talking about Mary, I just want to point these out. So we started with vibration, then I opened right away to sacred space. So vibration says energy and positivity, raise your vibration to attract what you desire. And sacred space says altar, prayer, candles, commune with your own divinity. So this sacred space may be the means or mechanism to raising your vibration, like you working with candles, crystals, prayer, and altar, setting up an altar could be how you go about increasing your vibration where, you know, especially where you've been stuck, you know, ascending past something, moving on, maybe, you know, reaching a place of forgiveness, new cycle. So yeah, holding back. But then when I got up to Mary, it happened again, like, because I was talking about the Feast Day of Mary, Help of Christians, which was the 24th. I just remember because I remember talking about how it had to do with her day. You'll find that Mary has a lot of feast days that equal 6 or 13. Or 4 or 11, right? This was one of them, the 24th. And while I was talking about May 24th and even reading, you know, what I had looked up, self-worth is going to be important. Maybe again, self-care, like massage and stuff. Remember, massage came up twice in the deck. Value, self-esteem, confidence. Be empowered by valuing yourself. So when I actually began to read about the Feast Day of Mary, Help of Christians, there was something in there about the 17th of May, which has personal meaning for me and my family, but I also felt could hear also them trying to tell me something, but I didn't get the full message. So I said, they're trying to tell me something, or Mary's trying to tell me something about 1771. I was like, maybe it has to do with Our Lady of Fatima, because Our Lady of Fatima is a feast day where she revealed to these children things to come in the future. And the final thing was supposed to be about, like, if we don't get it together, there's going to be a huge war here. You know, so the final thing was about people fighting, people at odds, like communities, you know, like black versus white, Democrat versus Republican, like all these kind of things. And then with, I think I also mentioned, I threw it back to Pluto's return on February 22nd of this year, 22222. Pluto had been in the same position that it was in on July 4th in the year 1776, when America was born. So anyway, I just saw all this stuff about fighting, and I was like, maybe Mary's trying to tell us about fighting. And I remember talking about 17, even though it wasn't the 17th, it was the 24th. I got hung up on that 17 and 71, and then started talking about Lady Fatima. Well, I'm being polite, young man, shooter of those poor innocent babies in Texas, actually purchased his gun on the 17th. Oh, and I also talked about another feast day that was last week, Ascension Thursday, which was the 26th. And I went into how the 26th equaled 8 and how that was significant. And I thought maybe that was a tie to the 17 also. 17 also equals 8. You know, 71 equals 8. And I was like going back and forth with those numbers and stuff. Well, he bought the gun on the 17th, and he committed the shooting on the 26th, Ascension Thursday. So we have that has come out of last week's reading. Fertility which is like growth, abundance, expansion. This very much aligns with our aces here, and with Venus. Again, Venus and with Taurus, Venus and Taurus, because we got this growth, we got an actual plant here. It's giving earth energy. Fresh ideas, manifest, growth, plant your seeds. And that is what we're meant to do with an ace, with a new start, right? Planting the seeds, because something is set, sort of bound, destined to grow for us and to be successful, with the Ace of Pentacles and or of Cups. Then we have solitude. So maybe this is something you're meant to work on by yourself. Retreat, introspection, silence, go deep within yourself. Memories. Maybe this is reflection. This introspection is going to be about reflection on the past so that we can move beyond it, like we saw with the 6 and 8 of Cups. Nostalgia, repetition, attachment, reliving the past. Let it go is what it says here. And the next card is in reverse. So now mix these up. Here's our Ace of Pentacles. Behind that, we have a 7 of Swords. I feel that this can be about things that, I think this is tied to Mercury retrograde, and things that have been delayed, that we should have gotten, we should have received, that maybe we didn't, or we should have gotten back if it was lost or taken from us, or something, or it was in limbo because somebody was trying to take it from us, or I guess it can apply to different people in different ways. I'm getting a couple of things. Whatever that energy that was like holding stuff up or whatever, I feel is released this week. So with that, caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as time or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. The 7 of Swords can also have to do with distrust, lack of confidence, lack of esteem, self-confidence, self-esteem. So also tying in with the other cards that we've seen. And look, opening right away to another King of Cups, who is warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. So that's another potential meaning of the King of Cups. But immediately behind that 7 of Swords, we had the 6 of Wands. So just as I was feeling that that 7 of Swords rather was about a success, was about something coming back to us, being returned to us, any sort of any attacking energy that was coming at us being like relieved, or us being successful against it. And then we have this Six of Wands coming through as, co-signing that, doubling down that message. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, or find out that you've been singled out for special recognition. You've done an amazing job and you deserve all of the attention. And as I mentioned, it has to do with air energy, very likely. And we have the Page of Swords coming. So there could be some sort of news, information that comes to you too, and or there may be a direct air sign involved, with this being a court card. Or again, this could be representative of Mercury or Venus or both. The Page of Swords is logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. But the next card is in reverse. It's the Five of Swords. So I don't think that the message, again, I think it's a positive message. I think it's a message about our success, about our triumph in the situation, or ability to move forward, or if the things are moving forward, and over this energy of conflict that we had been experiencing, maybe, right, with this Five of Swords now being in reverse. Oh, here's the Empress. She just fell away. Lavish abundance. Give birth to your dreams. Nurture yourself and others. Major Arcana card 3. The Empress, of course, representative of the planet Venus, which again entered Taurus, one of her home signs, yesterday, and which I think will be very positive for us. I'm gonna talk about it after the cards. Also, Archangel Gabriel, I feel, is super significant here. Mary has another feast day this week that again equals one of her numbers. That's on the 31st, which is 13 transposed. And that is the visitation of Mary. So the angel Gabriel showing up to her to tell her that she is to have a child. And here we do have this angel that's depicted. Mary is the Queen of Angels. This could easily be her. It's Archangel Gabriel, but representative of her. We have it holding like a baby here. Okay. So, what else was I wanting to talk to you guys about? One day I'll turn into one of those people that tries to do a whole big production and prepare stuff in advance, and my problem is I just feel like I'm a psychic. I'm an intuitive, so I read energy, I heal energy, I read cards, and I'm not like here to do like a minstrel show. I'm not a clown, so I've never been able to get into all the production of it. And when my first year or two, somebody had offered me like $50,000 to take over my channel, my show, I guess, basically. And I declined that because I was like these are my gifts. I give messages, whatever. I can't put on for you. You can't pay me to put on. And then they're my gifts, sort of like on loan to me, from the universe, from God. They're not mine to sell. That's for sure. So I don't know. I passed on that, and I never was able to get into being that type of person, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Maybe I was supposed to, and I didn't. I missed the mark on it. I don't know, but I was never comfortable doing that. Anyway, our overall energy here, interestingly enough, is the Four of Cups. So this could be saying, yes, there's going to be all this abundance around us and all these opportunities around us, but we still have to take some sort of action in order to, go about taking advantage of the opportunity. Because, to not do so would be to miss it. And if you do that, that's on you. It's like, there's all this stuff around, all this abundance around, but it's not automatic that you're going to end up with something. You have to actually go get it. I think it's what this is saying. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. And that, I would imagine, has to do with, work, money, relationships, all that. You have to take some sort of action and put yourself in the position where you can receive the opportunity, make the phone call, do the footwork, knocking on doors and going to offices, handing out your resume, calling your ex or whatever it is. All right. With that, let's get into the tarot. We're off to a good start again with this Ace of Cups. Is our overall energy card that most directly represent us this week is the Star. It's a good week so far. A very good week. Major Arcana card 17. There's another 17 equals 8. The Star represents the sign of Aquarius most directly. Actually, Saturn goes retrograde this week. Also, that's something I guess we'll talk about after I do the cards too. And it will be in the sign of Aquarius. Surrounding energy involving close friends, family members, co-workers, and things of that nature is the Hierophant in reverse. Work and finance, we have Temperance upright. All major arcana so far, which is also pretty interesting. It's like, so these kind of things for me are destined. Like they do happen whether we act or not. And then all we're responsible for is how or whether we react, to what's going on. Like these are energies that are going to happen regardless, no matter what we do. Love and relationship. 5 of Cups in reverse. So again, moving beyond, any disappointment we had been experiencing and sitting around and doing nothing and deciding like I'm going to get up and, get me some love or relationship. Whether that's going back to a past relationship or, putting yourself out there to look for a new one or improving an existing one, doing something about an existing one that's on the decline. All of the 5 of Cups could apply to all those. Things getting better. Physical health. The 4th ace, the Ace of Wands now. So we've had the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and now the Ace of Wands. There could be people getting new homes this week, having babies, getting married, again, reconciling, all kinds of wonderful things with all these aces that are showing up. Last but not least, spiritual health, justice, upright. A little 6-card spread, so to speak. 4 major arcana cards and an ace. And again, here is and 2 aces, I should say. This is our overall energy. So in addition to being, again, very, very powerful and super auspicious, when in pairs, the Ace of Cups on its own is very powerful by itself. And a super positive omen in terms of reading tarot and relating to love and affection and happiness and, again, emotional fulfillment. Like all aces, though, so like the others, it is about new beginnings, and although those new beginnings often have to do with love, it can also be about a new beginning in another area. So if it's not something having to do with a relationship or with love, then again, it's something that's making you emotionally happy in another area. There's still the emotion that's attached to it. So for example, we got Temperance in the position of work and finance. I don't want to really jump ahead, but that can be about, aiming high, going for whatever your limit is. It's like aiming high, but within reason, within balance. So not beyond what your personal limits or the limits of any other people that may be involved are. So you should shoot for the stars, that are within your reach, basically. And that may be, and also it can be something having to do in terms of finance with the amount of money going in to your account, being in balance or sort of lockstep with the amount of money going out. And that may be something that you prayed for or wished upon, with the star, and that you have successfully now manifested. And that's emotionally fulfilling, that, every time I spend $1, I get at least $1, so I'm keeping my head above water, and maybe I'm even able to save something. And if you See, I'm totally jumping ahead because I'm just totally giving you the meaning of the Temperance card now. In addition to aiming high in terms of work, specific to finances and them, going well, if you need or want or seeking more money, so for example, more money in your job or something like that, you're gonna have to ask for it. And then this would also be a good week rather, to ask for it. And with all these aces and the star, a sign that you will be successful on top of that, if you ask for it this week. And so that's gonna be emotionally fulfilling. If you get promotion or you get a raise, that's going to be something that makes you emotionally happy, even though it has nothing to do with love, of course. Also, with the Ace of Cups, in a general sense, people are responding to you with again, kindness, love, goodwill, fairness, just maybe even more than usual. And this should be in the very near future. So if it hasn't started for you already, very near future, not something that you should have to wait too long for. And you should just be feeling good and or better, maybe, about life in general than possibly you had been or have been for a while. And this is just a great time to make new friends and again to touch base with loved ones and improve relations and relationships and all that stuff. So the star, as I mentioned in relation to Temperance, can often show up when we're feeling more confident, that our needs are being met or will be met. If you're talking about manifestation, it's better to think in the present tense. And our needs are being met, whether these are emotional needs or financial needs, again, with the Temperance in the workplace, or both, right, being met. And nothing can be taken for granted, of course, but it's unlikely that this confidence that we're feeling is misplaced or wrong. And that's, again, supplemented by the fact that the star is showing up, so these things are good. We're feeling good about these things. It makes sense because the star is here. Star, as I mentioned, is about successful manifestation, wishes coming true, prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true, goals being reached, all these sorts of things. So we're going to feel better about that and just sort of have an expectation probably in our heart. Not in an anxious way, but just I know this is going to happen. I know it's my time kind of feeling. You've had that feeling before, I'm sure. I think we've all had that feeling. So we're going to get it again. It's a nice feeling to have. Also, we could just find ourselves feeling, rather hopeful and inspired about life and the future, and probably, again, more than we have in a while. Which is a good thing. Definitely another really positive omen. What else I want to say about it? It's just an opportunity to make changes in your life. Again, to check things off the list, reach goals, accomplish things. If you got a lot on your plate, it's a good time for you to just start getting stuff done and finding that it's actually working and going in your favor. And this is going to be a good segue to the Hierophant in reverse, because how Aquarians, because again the star represents the sign of Aquarius, how Aquarians can often be the lone man on an island, as they say, the one person in a crowd that thinks a certain way, just very unique people and have a different point of view than maybe others in a group or something like that. Well, the Hierophant can be about, and since it's in this placement also of our surrounding energy, so it's involving other people in our life, maybe our closest one-on-one relationships, sort of seventh house stuff, again, close friends, family members, co-workers, and things like that. Other people in your life with the Hierophant in reverse, which represents the sign of Taurus, where, again, Mercury and Venus both are. These other people in your life may not understand where you're coming from, or why you think a certain course of action is the right one for you to take, or why you think a certain way, period. They just don't get it. It's not always necessary that the people around you get it or agree with what you are doing or want to do, once you've made, like a solid decision for yourself. So this, and again, thinking about our overall energy and the card that's behind it, again, the King of Cups, can be about relationship, for example. And then we got the Five of Cups here. You may be saying, I'm going back to fix that situation. And people around you may be saying, why? Like, who cares? Move on. And you know that that's the right thing to do. You know the right thing to do is to move beyond the past and to forgive. Like that other card we saw. I don't know what forgive is, but it was in this other deck. I don't know. I tried to find it quickly. But yeah, you know that letting go of the past, moving forward is the right thing to do. You know that maybe, again, forgiving or apologizing for some wrong you did, or both, is the right thing to do in beginning to get your love life back on track. And so other people around you may be saying, like, what the hell? Or marriage. You may have picked somebody and they say, why them? Why him? Why her? And that's not for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody to understand. Or you may want to get out of a marriage with the Hierophant in reverse. You may want to, leave somebody that you're with, or, whether it's an actual marriage, legal marriage, or, just a connection. And people may not understand that. But again, this is you doing what's in your heart to do. In terms of work, you may be going for a job that people might say, but, you're a talented mechanic. Why do you want to suddenly be a musician? That's none of your business. If you don't understand it, fine, but this is what I want to do. And so, because you're the pursuit of your own emotional fulfillment and happiness, and you've already done like the introspection really, and you're in this balanced place where it's like, no, I know I'm not overly emotional. I'm not too much in my head. This is really what I want in my heart and in my head and my soul. This is what I want to do. This is who I want. This is where I want to be, and going after those things. Because the Hierophant is about tradition and doing the right thing. And that's true even in reverse, or even when you're talking about you, like doing the right thing for you. Remember the dice also, or the die rather, proper English, my choice. So it's up to you, what's best for you, what's the right thing to do for you. And that may be, whatever the answer to that question is, may be something that other people don't understand, and that's just too bad. Do it anyway this week. I really already did Temperance, but I will add to Temperance that it too, for me, is about Aquarian energy. I mean, aren't these both water bearers? Aren't they both pouring water out of two vessels? But traditional tarot, speaking of tradition, like the Hierophant, which crosses it, traditional tarot says that Temperance actually represents the sign of Sagittarius. But for me, I get not only those Sag vibes, but Aquarius for sure, more. So there could be a special message in there for an Aquarian. Moving on to love and relationships. So we got the Five of Cups in reverse. It's our least exciting card, but the meaning I think is still good here. With the Five of Cups reverse, we're beginning to realize that, we can have happy, meaningful, interesting, fulfilling love relationships, period. We may have felt like, oh, maybe I'm not meant to, or, I'm just, there's no one out there for me, or, I'm bad at relationships, all these kind of things that we tell ourselves. With this card, we're realizing, that's not true. That even I can be happy. We all deserve to be happy, and I can be happy, and it's up to me, which it is up to you, my choice. I will be happy, and I'm going to get out and do what I have to do. That certainly doesn't mean like settle for whatever, comes your way. You don't have to accept abuse, or, trying to bend over backwards to make something that's clearly not working, or like an unsuitable partner fit, none of that. But there is somebody for you, and you deserve to find them. And this is about getting into that like frame of mind and staying there, and knowing that you deserve actual love, not you know, some sort of fake situation, forced energy, love, happiness, fulfillment, partnership, companionship, just like, you know, any other human being, or non-human being, you know, angelic or starseed or whatever you are, right? It's really about trusting your instincts. And if you don't already feel this way, this sort of deserving and I'm ready to get up and get out there and do something about my own life, you should, you know, soon. Moving on to the Ace of Wands in reverse in the position of physical health. So while it's an ace and can be about new things and wonderful things, specific to health, this card can also come with a warning that we need to watch out for, like, we need to watch out for or stop or limit things that for us are like habitual, that have the potential to turn into a bad habit, or where we, like, you know, that are indulgences. You know, like you can have a cheat day, but every day, if all 7 days of the week become a cheat day, then it's too much. It becomes an overindulgence, right? But we all deserve an indulgence, you know, to have that one day. So habits and things, it's about being balanced. A lot of these cards are about balance that we got today. Justice, temperance, the King of Cups. So I think that's like the theme here, actually. But like overindulgence in food, alcohol, sex, drugs, even too much like dieting and exercise. Like anything done in excess is bad. You can drink too much water and kill yourself. You know, even though water is so wonderful for us, and you know, most of our body is made of water, you can even drink too much and have what they call a dry drowning. You know, so I say all that to say, again, the theme is balance. I don't know how else to put it. So this is warning us about like just doing too much, and really working toward maintaining balance, and even suggest that if we have trouble doing that, that we seek some sort of help, you know, from whether it's a friend or somebody who's a professional in that area. So like if it's over eating or over dieting, you know, so not eating enough, you know, and we can't stop on our own either way. We're either, you know, going to become unhealthily overweight, or we're in danger of some other sort of eating disorder and not eating enough. Then maybe we need to talk to a therapist, a nutritionist, you know, a medical doctor to get our hormones balanced, or something like that, you know. Or it could be a matter of talking to a friend, or somebody else that's been through it, or like an AA sponsor, right? That's somebody that is like a peer of yours, but who gets what you're going through and can help you, you know. Oh man, I almost, you know, lit a cigarette. Oh, let me come by and talk to you. Maybe we can go by and, you know, go for a walk, and then that'll take your mind off the cigarette, or whatever it is. Seeking some sort of help to support yourself if you need it. And last but not least, that Justice card, again, also represents the planet Venus, like the Hierophant card. So it's interesting because they're kind of mirroring each other, right? We got the one up there and the one down here. So it's more Venus. This one is more directly Libra, while the Hierophant represents the sign of Taurus. And in spirituality, again, the theme is balance, you know, with this card. And it's about being grounded and just sort of feeling like our place in the world, you know, and being in, like, in terms of being centered and working on sort of maintaining like the proper perspectives about life in general, or about things through which we're going, can help us to remain grounded and centered. And that should be our focus from a spiritual perspective this week, says Major Arcana card Justice. And now, even though I'm going to do a moon reading, and I usually do 3 or 4 spreads when I do a moon reading, I want to do one more on this reading. specific to this week. With these, and maybe these will be the clarifiers if I need clarifiers. Yeah, I'll use these. This will be the crowning card for the masculine. It's another Four of Cups. So masculine, particularly you, have an opportunity that you could take advantage of. It may be connected to the Page of Swords and that information that comes in, some sort of news or message, or there may be an opportunity for you to convey a message to somebody that you should take. And that's even going to be like, if it's a feeling, like an intuitive feeling, you should do this. You should apply for that job. You should call, this love interest. You should, I don't know, apply for credit, whatever it is. Because we did see the Ace of Pentacles. We saw everything, really. You should travel with the Wands. It may just be an intuitive feeling. But that's your opportunity. That's opportunity knocking for you to take advantage of it. So this one says, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom, open your eyes to the possibilities. It's like you're not paying attention to the possibilities. And also I'm getting a deeper message from that especially where it has to do with connecting with somebody, whether it's a love interest or some other kind of relationship, you are closed to the possibilities of things going right. Your mind is closed. So it's like you're a pessimist. You're in doubt, right? You're in fear, based doubt probably. And so it's like, well, if I call him, if I call her, it's not going to go well, whatever. And so you let the opportunity pass. It's even things like that. If I apply for the job, I'm not going to get it. So you let the opportunity pass. Don't do that. If you get that kind of strong feeling, you're meant to go about it. But this is especially, like I said, with regard to relationships. And we even have the 10 of Cups behind this. So this is your crowning card. Your responsibilities may distract you. It's possible that that's the case too. Like you got a lot going on. You're doing a lot of stuff. And so you're like, oh, should I not? Should I apply for the job I really want when I already have a job that's paying the bills? I have responsibilities. I got to pay the bills. Should I be, looking around, trying to, find emotional fulfillment in a job that makes me happy? Should I be looking around for a relationship that makes me happy when I have, kids to take care of, or whatever it is, whatever your responsibilities are. So they may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is trying to present to you. Again, which can even come through an intuitive message guiding you toward doing something. And the card suggests that you be open to investigating any and all opportunities that come your way. All right? So that's the crowning card for the masculine. Surrounding the masculine, we have the 3 of Wands. So this is also about opportunity, something that you've probably been working on or hoping for, a goal you've been trying to reach, something you've been wanting to do or been, thinking about, and it's trying to come to fruition through manifestation, but it's not quite there yet. Stop to take time to review and to make long-term plans, capitalizing upon your past successes. It's appropriate to pat yourself on the back for all of your accomplishments, but you may also need patience for the next phase to play out. Where it has to do with a relationship, this can also have to do with there being some distance between you and the person with whom the relationship is, or people with whom the relationships are. Whether that is because of separation, as they call it, like, you broke up and you're not speaking, you blocked each other or whatever, or it's physical distance, or both. Wands also, again, are about movement. So this could also be about an opportunity to travel that you potentially could miss out on if you don't take it. And in your mind, this is what I was talking about, you're worried about negative stuff. You're worried about conflict. You're worried about things not going right. You're worrying about not finding the right words to say. You're worrying about not hearing what you'd like to hear in response. This is, this placement for me is like a subconscious. So this would be the masculine subconscious. This is what's in your mind, what you're worried about, or what's in the back of your mind that you're not even realizing you're worried about, right? Subconscious thoughts. The Five of Swords. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome. So why not change it? How could you change it? By taking advantage of an opportunity. Always maintain integrity and compassion, but also be alert to the hidden agendas of others. Who are the others? Maybe those people who don't get it, right? From the last spread, I said, not, for masculine and feminine, for all of us, there will be people surrounding us that don't understand what it is we're trying to accomplish or why, or what our interests are or why. They don't get why we want a particular thing, why we desire a particular thing, why we need a particular thing. And so they could be the others. Those others could be leading you away from what would be fulfilling to you. Crowning the feminine, we have the Seven of Pentacles, seeds well planted. Temporary pause in action, unnecessary worry. So we also, in the midst of manifesting something, on the cusp of it, and we may not see anything happening in the meantime. It may not look like it's coming to fruition. Like, you applied already for the job. You just haven't heard back yet. You applied for the credit card. You haven't heard back yet. You wrote a letter to a friend, or you left somebody a message, a love interest, a voicemail. You text them and they haven't gotten back to you yet. Don't worry. Okay. That's probably Mercury retrograde that is in the way or something like that. Again, they got a lot of stuff on their plate, right? He's very busy. And that's a distraction from maybe getting back to you. But any worry that you have is unnecessary. Okay, this is just about a pause, temporary pause, but you're still on that path toward manifestation. Of course, the next card will be the Eight of Pentacles, which is a card that's about reward for the efforts that we put into a particular thing. Surrounding the feminine, we have the Five of Cups. So this is also about worry, pessimism, doubt, that something's not going to work out in the way that we would want it to work out. Probably associated with the Seven of Pentacles. Like, why haven't I heard back yet? What's going on? Why am I not seeing movement, seeing growth in this area yet after I planted those seeds? So we panic, right? Things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in the situation, and crying over spilled milk is what the Five of Cups is potentially about. But remember, in our last spread, that Five of Cups, there's no reversals in this deck, but in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot there are, and we just used those in our last spread. The Five of Cups showed up in the placement of love and relationship, and it was in reverse, not upright. Feminine subconscious, we have the Two of Swords. So being indecisive about which way to go. This could have to do with more than one choice in masculine, I'm feeling. And I was talking about this about a month ago, and then I think I stopped for a while. And I guess was receiving other messages in the meantime, talking about something different. Oh, I started talking about masculine leaving because I was getting all those kind of feelings, especially Virgos. So we're not seeing that necessarily this week. Maybe he's already gone. Maybe he's already packed up. Maybe he's already told his man or woman or whatever it is that he's out of here. But for us, we may still be trying to either decide between two masculine or figure out between two masculines, which is our like soulmate or twin flame or something like that is what I'm getting. Where it has nothing to do with that, then there could be another scenario in your life where you sort of know in your heart what you would like to choose, but you're not choosing it. So instead you're in this like place of indecision because you figure, just like I said, like with the last spread, there are going to be people that don't get it, what your desires are. They don't understand it. And you're worried about what those outside influences will think about your choice. So instead you're not making a choice at all. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. Like if I don't open my mail, I don't have to pay my bills. They go away or I can ignore them or something like that, which we know is not true. Crowning, we have the Hermit. So this is another guidance to do some introspection like we saw with the other cards. Major Arcana card 9, Virgo, which I just mentioned. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. That may help you to make a decision. That may help you to get out, out of your fear and make a move, depending upon which side you're on. At the root of foundation, we have the Four of Pentacles, which is another card of fear and holding on to something that is really holding us back. We're holding on to something, not realizing that thing is holding on to us too, and holding us back from what we really deserve, what we really want, what we've been working on manifesting. The reason we're not actually getting it, the reason it hasn't shown up yet, is because we're holding on, so tightly to what we don't need, what we don't want. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. And at the heart of the matter, we have another Five of Cups. So we have the Five of Cups next to the feminine's Five of Cups. And for the masculine, we have the Four of Cups crowning him, and the Four of Cups is the overall energy. So those are the two strongest energies for each archetype, respectively, right? Although this Five of Cups is also like for the masculine, since it's right here in the middle. Focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move onward and upward. But again, I'm going to remind you that the Five of Cups this week, in this week's reading, at least according to the last spread, is positive, right? It's a Five of Cups in reverse about us, getting out of whatever slump, getting out of this place of pessimism and doubt, out of this place of fear, and taking some sort of action, making a move. Which ones should I clarify here? Well, I guess the heart of the matter, right? So we'll do that first. Marriage. So this is about relationship, not necessarily actual marriage, but some sort of partnership, commitment that we're concerned about. There's a fear in approaching it. But again, there's, with it in reverse, thinking about the other spread, we're ready to move toward either re-engaging or moving to the next step, the next level, or reconciling, or if we're single, getting out there and meeting someone, that ultimately we could find companionship and maybe even marriage with. Legal partnership, commitment, marital bond, and societal contract. So it doesn't have to be related to love and relationship. I'm saying it likely is because our Five of Cups from the last spread was in the placement of love and relationship. Let's also look at the masculine's Four and the feminine's personal Five. So the masculine's Four of Cups that is crowning him. We have vibration, energy, and positivity. Raise your vibration to attract what you desire. So again, I knew that this was, as I said, that this is about what he desires, and he should not, and he's going to get an intuitive message very likely, and he should follow it and not be afraid. If he needs to raise his vibration in order to have and increase his self-confidence, there's some things he may need to do in the 3D, like self-care, or introspection, to build himself up to be able to do this. Now, I think I'm going to skip this one because normally when I do clarifications, I use this deck because I can tell which cards are upright and which ones are in reverse, and I like to pick the next upright card. So since I can tell here too, I think I should pick the next upright card, which is this one. So this is for the feminine's Five of Cups. She's at a crossroad, which is very much in line with this. I mean, there's even like a literal cross here. Crossroad as there is in this card. It has to do with this Two of Swords and this place of indecision, because again, she knows in her heart what her decision is and what she wants to do, or who she wants to pursue, or who she wants to pursue her, or whatever. All of these, she knows, period. She knows whatever it is, she knows in her heart, but it's the bringing it to a reality that she's afraid of. Divergent paths, choices, confusion. Follow your intuition, just like I told the masculine. And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up. That's what I have for you this week. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. And if you'd like to stick around, I'm going to open my laptop now. I am opening my laptop and turning it on, but I also just felt like maybe I should do the crowning card and the root card. So looking for the next, again, upright card. Here it is. We'll use this to further clarify the Hermit. and it's about potential. So you're going within to figure out what would fulfill you. Just as I said, so I'm glad you got this clarification. That's probably why they were like, pull the next card to, let them see what you've been saying. You can go within and figure out fulfillment, risk, achievement, a fulfillment versus risk, and the possibility of being successful and achieving it, as opposed to the possibility where you are with the Four of Cups of failure. Let's think about the fact that our potential is limitless instead, and go for it. That's for the masculine, but the same thing for the feminine. You're at a crossroads, you're manifesting something, keep going. And for the root card, the Four of Pentacles, we have self-worth. So whatever you're holding on, again, is holding on to, is holding you back. And it's probably part of what's making you feel unfulfilled, and maybe even going from there, further into not only unfulfilled, but like unworthy now. Maybe I don't have anything that I want because I don't deserve to. And so that's what we got to fix. Value, self-esteem, confidence, be empowered by valuing yourself. And valuing yourself also would cause you to let go of, or empower you to let go of things that don't serve you, that are holding you back from what would serve you and or make you happy. And on that note, I will sign in now. There we go. And this week I have for you, on the Christian calendar, as I mentioned before, the visitation of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the feast day of the visitation of the Blessed Virgin Mary is what it's called. That is, again, on May 31st. And for a little bit more on that, I went to www.franciscanmedia.org. This is a fairly late feast, going back only to the 13th, is her number again, 13th or 14th century. It's probably the 13th. It was established widely throughout the church in order to pray for unity. The present date of the celebration was set in 1969 in order to follow the Annunciation of the Lord and to precede the Nativity of St. John the Baptist. So 6 and 9, again, are numbers of Mary. So, 1969 makes sense also. Like most feasts of Mary, it's closely connected with Jesus and his saving work. The more visible actors in the visitation drama, which you can see Luke 139 through 45 about this, are Mary and Elizabeth, who's her cousin, by the way. However, Jesus and John the Baptist steal the scene in a hidden way. Jesus makes John leap with joy while he's in the womb, that is, the joy of messianic salvation. Elizabeth, in turn, is filled with the Holy Spirit and addresses words of praise to Mary. This is when the prayer, the Hail Mary, was created. I'm going back and forth between reading it and talking to you on my own, by the way. Words that echo down through the ages. It is helpful to recall that we do not have a journalist's account of this meeting. Rather, Luke, speaking for the church, gives a prayerful poet's rendition of the scene. And you can start reading that from Luke 1:36, which would be 6:13. Again, Mary's numbers, sort of transposed and mixed up. Elizabeth's praise of Mary as, quote, the mother of my Lord, can be viewed as the earliest church's devotion to Mary. As with all authentic devotion to Mary, Elizabeth's, the church's words, first praise God for what God has done to Mary. Only secondly does she praise Mary for trusting God's words. Then comes the Magnificat, which is Luke 1:46 or 11 through 55, 146 through 155. Here, Mary herself, like the church, traces all her greatness to God. One of the invocations in Mary's litany is the Ark of the Covenant. Like the Ark of the Covenant of old, Mary brings God's presence into the lives of other people. As David danced before the Ark, John the Baptist leaps for joy. As the ark helped to unite the 12 tribes of Israel by being placed in David's capital, so Mary has the power to unite all Christians in her son. Not just all Christians, because Christians wasn't a thing at the time. It's all peoples. The Bible talks about connecting all people from all four corners of the world, for at least if they're those people who are interested. It wasn't Christians. Jesus was not a Christian. Anyway, at times, devotion to Mary may have occasioned some divisiveness, but we can hope that authentic devotion will lead all to Christ, and therefore to one another. So that's what it has to say about her. Really, the story, if you don't know the story, basically Mary went to visit her cousin Elizabeth, who was old and had been barren, but was somehow pregnant despite her age, much older than Mary. Mary was a little girl, and again, Elizabeth was an old woman. She was pregnant with John the Baptist. John the Baptist is Jesus' cousin. And, she was all excited, like, oh, wow, you came to visit me, even though you're, pregnant and everything. And, Mary was like, yeah, you need help. You're old and you're pregnant. So, yeah. And so Elizabeth saw it as a great blessing, like, oh, wow, that the mother of God would come to visit me, Hail Mary, full of grace. And that's where the prayer comes from. She went into all of that. Anywho, moving on to the next thing. That's the only major thing on the Christian calendar that I'm going to talk about. However, there are a bunch of... Is that this week? I think it's this week. Let me look at June. Because as far as from memory, there are a bunch of Saints' Day, like martyrs, coming up. And I feel something... Yes, it is correct. June 1st, Wednesday, June 1st, is the feast day of Saint Justin, the martyr. You can look him up. I'm not going to talk about him, but I just wanted to mention, I don't know, I felt guided to mention these people. And maybe because somebody will make a sacrifice. Not the ultimate sacrifice like they did. I'm not talking about that, nothing sad. But maybe somebody will go out of their way for you, or you will go out of your way for somebody, or you will sacrifice, your pride, your ego, and again, releasing some of these fears or something. I'm getting something like that. And that's why I'm being told to mention these martyrs. So again, June 1st is the feast of Saint Justin. Maybe the person's name will be Justin or Justine, that's involved in this. And then on the 2nd, June 2nd, we have the feast of Saint Marcellinus. So maybe again, somebody named Marcel or Marcella will be involved. And also the feast of Saint Peter, both of which are martyrs. And then on the 3rd, so it's 1, 2, 3 in order, we have the feast days of Saints Charles, and his companions, it says. Everybody are martyrs in that case. And then it goes into next week, which is the 5th, the feast of Saint Boniface, Bishop and Martyr, and that's also the feast day of the Pentecost, and that's also going to be something on the Jewish calendar. It's a feast day on the Jewish calendar too. I can't think. Shavuot. I think it's the feast day of Shavuot on the Hebrew calendar also, next Sunday. So we'll talk about that then. Speaking of the Jewish calendar, we're moving on right now to, again, the 31st. So the same day as Mary's feast day. The 31st is the day that some of us around the world will be experiencing the new moon in Gemini, also tied to Mary, right? And where Hebrews and Jews around the world may be recognizing the new month of Sivan for the year 5782. So for a little bit more about that, I went to www.shabbat.org to read about Sivan. Sivan is the 3rd month of the Jewish calendar, counting from Nisan. It's the month of Sivan when we celebrate the holiday of Shavuot. Yes, I was right. I was correct. When the Torah was given by God to the Jewish people on Mount Sinai more than 3,300 years ago. So we got our angel number there, master number 33. Every year on the holiday of Shavuot, we renew our acceptance of God's gift. Okay, I was talking about sacrifice, and maybe gift is associated with that too. Maybe somebody will get engaged this week or married again. Even we had all those aces too, so it's definitely marriage could happen too. Every year on the holiday of Shavuot, we renew our acceptance of God's gift, and God re-gives us the Torah. And if you want to understand more about the month of Sivan, I'm sure there are plenty of places to read about it. Again, I got mine from www.chabad.org. But I'm going to move on because I also want to talk about Saturn in Aquarius and Mercury going direct. So for those, I'm here on the planetary calendar. On May 30th at 7:30 a.m., we'll experience the new moon in Gemini, 9 degrees Gemini. And then on the 31st at 4:52 p.m., so the same day as Shavuot and the same day as the visitation of Mary, will be Saturn semi-sextile Neptune. Saturn 25 degrees Aquarius and Neptune 25 degrees Pisces. And then on June 3rd, which is the same day as all those saints that were martyred together, the companions and the guy Charles, St. Charles, at 4 a.m. Mercury goes direct, 26 degrees Taurus. And then the last day for which this reading is on June 4th at 5:47 p.m., Saturn enters retrograde, 25 degrees Aquarius. So for a little bit more about that, went to www.tarot.com. Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. When Saturn takes a backward trip through Aquarius, all this energy and focus on groups shifts inward for us. So we'll take our mind off of groups and we'll focus on ourselves instead. Maybe that's the self again, our desires and the self care and esteem, all of that. This time becomes much more focused on the parts that we play in humanitarian efforts. Maybe, again, making a sacrifice for others, perhaps. And the internal blockages, like the Four of Pentacles, that we need to clear out in order to be useful in the larger harmonies unfolding around us. And for some, this can even have to do with relationships, because our unions are necessary to humanity. While looking inward, while looking inward may not be the easiest of tasks, Aquarius's optimism, right? All the Aquarius that we saw, the star, temperance, and Aquarius's eye on potential, which crowns us here, can help us to keep things in perspective. Saturn retrograde in Aquarius tells us to slow down and to balance social energy with personal work. Practice self-care. Boom. Journal. Talk to a therapist. Didn't I say that too? Connect with a trusted friend. Anything that helps us to learn and improve ourselves will flourish during this time, and we'll come out the other end ready to contribute our gifts and energy clearly, likely attracting new relationships and love interests in the process. So that is Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. And then for Mercury leaving retrograde and going direct in Taurus, I also went to www.tarot.com, and here we go. Mercury direct. If you spent the last 3 weeks or so feeling mentally scrambled, misunderstood, or just plain indecisive, relief is near. That's because Mercury, the planet that rules the mind, is turning direct on June 3rd, 2022. After having gone through, that's the same day as all those other, the martyrs and the other stuff we just read about. After having gone through another one of its retrograde phases. When Mercury is not operating smoothly, there can be plenty of mishaps related to anything ruled by Mercury. I already said it was the same day, right? What's wrong with me? I already made note of that. I don't know why I said that again. Anyway, the mishaps can occur whether it's in transportation, commerce, like I was saying, if we're waiting for something that hasn't come yet, it's delayed. transportation, commerce, or communication. Now that Mercury has stationed direct, it will need a few days to regulate its orbit, so don't expect things to necessarily turn around immediately. They, although I guess it's possible they might, but it says it needs a few days to regulate its orbit, and then you'll be good to go. Any delay, frustration, or confusion surrounding Mercury-ruled matters, like this and this, will soon find resolution. So what does it mean when Mercury goes direct? A planet changing motion is a potent phenomenon. Remember, Mercury has been out of its usual forward orbit for 3 weeks, so turning direct again will not be easy as declaring on your mark, get set, go. And watching Mercury zoom out, if only it were that simple. What really happens when a planet moves from retrograde to direct motion is more akin to waking up from a deep slumber. Mercury will need time to drink some cosmic coffee and to fully regain his consciousness. It won't be until Mercury reaches the degree where it originally turned retrograde and then passes it that you'll know Mercury has its full strength back. That tends to take a couple of weeks, but don't stress. This time frame is nothing at all like the Mercury retrograde cycle. In fact, now you'll be ready to apply whatever it is you've learned during the Mercury retrograde period into your current reality. It only takes a few days of Mercury being back on track for you to notice the difference from here on out. The planet will get stronger every day. What's interesting is that while Mercury will need time to regulate its orbit, the very day of its stationing direct can be a potent time. It's like Merc will be jolted awake for a short time. Remember mom screaming at you to wake up or you'll be late for school? During this day or even the next, it's likely that you'll experience incredible clarity about whatever issues you've been grappling with during the Mercury retrograde. But be patient. It will take just a little more time before you're ready to execute your newfound lucidity with success. In the meantime, which is exactly what I said about that Seven of Pentacles. In the meantime, now that Mercury's direct, over the next few days, you are free to sign contracts, schedule vital meetings, have a significant conversation, and make important decisions or purchases. Remain confident as you push ahead with anything that requires cerebral muscle. Mercury has finally has its mojo back. So that may be another thing too. With this marriage and Five of Cups here in the center, there could be, maybe it is like an event that you are planning or looking forward to, including your wedding, and you're sort of doubtful that it's going to actually happen and be pulled off because, either something goes wrong, there's a conflict, there's an argument, the other person's acting funny, there's some sort of pause, delay, maybe the travel plans don't work out, or, there's something, the hotel is closed because of COVID or whatever it is, and so you're like, oh my God, it's not going to happen. But there is going to come a time during this period later in the week where things free up and we will be able to sign contracts and stuff, right? Legal partnerships, commitment, marital bonds, and societal contracts. So that's what I have for you. I hope you guys have enjoyed the reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. Again, I appreciate it. And I'll be back with the moon reading. Namaste.